always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Make HOAG Money. A little bit of a late start. We had a kind of a long forecast this morning. I apologize, but we are ready to go. Make sure everybody can hear and see everything. It's great to see everyone. I will be looking for someone to join me to discuss things today. Looks like we've got our good friend Matt Hoyt here. We'll see if we can get him in here to see what he's thinking about these markets. Good morning, everyone. This is me, John Hoagland. I got a few years in trading, and I've been with Top Step since 2011, and it's been my pleasure to have the opportunity to talk to thousands of traders from around the world. CFTC disclaimer: futures has substantial risk. These are leveraged products. You could lose more than you invest. Only risk capital should be used, and to me, risk capital is money that I can afford to lose. One of the things we love about Top Step is the fact that we're not going to have to put up our own risk capital. Top Step's going to put it up upon success in the trading combine. Everything we do here today is for educational purposes only. I'm not calling trades. You guys are. For me, we're not suggesting that anybody take those trades. Of course, there's no representative of that there or guarantee of future performance or success in futures. The rules for Make HOAG Money: we do expect kindness and respect above everything. There's always differences of opinion in markets. It's what makes them so good. We have a couple of people enabled to talk. We're all going to be involved in the decision making, of course, and context is going to be helpful. We're going to use the chat rooms to discuss trades in Zoom and on YouTube. Only those on Zoom will be able to vote for the trades we're thinking about taking. We're focusing on the ES for opportunities. We're not going to trade just to trade. We're looking for our A game here. Hopefully you guys brought your knowledgeable traders with you. No losing trades will be allowed. Of course, that is a joke. We know that there will be losses in trading. We have to accept them, cut them, and move along. Of course, feedback is vital for Make HOAG Money. Always appreciate the feedback and suggestions to help improve what we are doing here. Here's the platform. And I'm going to get Mr. Hoyt here if he would like to. Anybody else that would like to chat also, let me know. All right, Mr. Hoyt has agreed. Good morning, Rob. One second here. Okay, Matt, coming up as a panelist. Good morning, Rob. Vince, my guy, Shaw, Caesar, Fred, good morning. Vince, JM, good morning. It's good to see everyone. Jason, Stephen, Anthony, Ted, JT, Bill, and Sakalafo from Norway. Goodness gracious. I had always told that I had some Norwegian blood in me, but according to Ancestry, not so much. My dad was into telling fairy tales. What's up, Mr. Hoyt? How are you?
Good morning, Hoag. I'm doing great. How about you guys?
I'm doing well. It's great to hear you and see you again.
You as well, my man.
I was thinking about having you do a whole session next Tuesday about teaching us the Andrews pitchfork. I think a lot of folks are interested in it and fascinated. What do you say? You want to commit to next Tuesday?
Sounds great. Week from today, sure.
Week from today? All right. We're going to get some advertising out there for you as well.
Oh, all right.
We want to get as many people to learn about this as possible because you don't know what's going to really click with you until you figure it all out, right?
Yeah, it's nice to know, try out a few things. The shoe fits, wear it.
It reminds me of a joke. So what are we thinking today, Mr. Hoyt?
I mean, today it was interesting because, there's a swing. Like I got a near 11 o'clock yesterday. Price made a low and then made a higher high. That higher high came in right around 1 o'clock, and then that swing low got cracked at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So we made all of a sudden. That's a change in behavior. We haven't taken out any swing.
So it's when we put in that high up here, where it put in the lower low, put in a new high, and then cracked.
Exactly.
Okay.
So since we did that, I was like, oh, that's a change in behavior. Maybe we're going to keep going down. That could be the time to turn around and maybe revisit, yesterday's point of explosion, which was like, I don't know, $39.99. Price really started taking off. Will we revisit all the way back down there? I don't know, but the market's pretty stretched. Like you said, we've got a 2-day rally, and it's pretty significant to the upside. So some repair would be in order. I'm not saying the trend is over, but I am saying, hey, price made basically a lower high and a lower low. So if lower highs and lower lows are the change, well, that's the way maybe I'm leaning, but we'll see.
So you're looking at, if this is a 30, wow, look how complicated that looks. Forget that.
Yeah. Maybe look at a 5-minute might show it better.
So we're looking pretty short time frame then.
Yeah, just because that's kind of, when these market starts one time frame, I've got to do something to kind of
shorten it up a little bit, see what it looks like.
Exactly.
So what do you suggest on the open here? Are we thinking about an opening range trade?
Me, no, I'm usually not right now. Just because anytime I take a trade, it's going to be like near a swing or a change in behavior or a median line, something like that. If it happens to be near the open, I'm ready to throw down, but I don't see anything now.
Listen to the discipline. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, trust me, I've paid a lot of tuition being undisciplined. So.
Yeah,
Here's the thing about trading, okay? For every trade you miss, there's 9 million other trades available that are going to be with a setup that you feel comfortable with. So you can save money and wait for those and actually make money, or you can, start flinging them around and wondering why your account keeps blowing up. In my experience, it's way better to wait for something you see that you like. When that happens, you hit it and you let it go, let it run its course.
So instead of like going for the B and C setups, you just be patient, wait for the ones that come to you.
Exactly. And we're all human. We all get impatient. We all get greedy and fearful. And there's things I do to kind of try to control that. Or, I don't know if control is the word. It's greedy and fearful is always going to happen. It's how I react to it that I can manage. So once you master yourself, trading's kind of easy because, learning the technical techniques that you like, it takes time and study and this and that, but mastering yourself is a much more difficult task.
Oh yes.
That's the key. Once you do that, it's easy.
So
It's easier.
here's the 1 minute. Opening range is 1975 to 1350. Now we've just finished the opening range. We've looked below the overnight low, which I kind of like to see when the market looks below it and then comes back inside. Sometimes I'll take that as a long because it limits risk. Now we're back to the 5 minute. There's our look below. Ben, overnight low back in trading. Overnight low back in trade approaching. Yeah, see, Ben is talking about the same thing. It looks below the overnight and then comes back in. Sometimes you can catch a good trade in the opposite direction. We would be looking for longs. Not sure if we want to vote on this yet. I have to keep a leash on my inner Jack Russell, always wanting to chase squirrels, right?
was so much fun.
I've got workmen around the house. They're doing something to the transformer back behind the house. And Lacey's been kind of crazy, and I'm a little concerned that they're going to cut off the power at some point. Ben's Long 13 quarter. That's a nice location, Ben. Do we join him? Do we try and get in on this? Launch. Matt, I'm going to make you available to vote as well. Soon, in just a second. What's your vote? Yes, no?
You know me, I'm waiting for my setup.
Greedy. So there's that overnight low. We're maybe late to the party here. 15. Let's see if we can squeeze in here. Because we've got 68% saying yes with more than half the people voting. 68 to 32. Allow panelists to participate. So now you'll get to participate in the next one. So Ben, you're looking good. Yeah. We all need battery backup power. Barry is saying on YouTube, Kevin's looking for shorts today. If the long trade works, perhaps the anomaly. Pretty sure this is what you're talking about up here, 40, 24, 50. I think you mentioned that earlier, Fred. Oh, you're looking at anomalies lower. 40, 24, half. Oh, no, that's right. These. All right, well, we got us in. Gotcha, Fred. Well, let's see what happens. Ben, are you looking at a profit target? I know we've only got one on. You've probably got multiples. Giving us a fright here. So we're looking at exit at 21. It reversed one tick shy. Isn't that always the way? Workmen. There's workmen in the yard. They must be eaten. They must be eaten. Here we are. Oof. I like the whisper bark. Oof. Oof. Yeah. Sure. Lacey, they're from the government. They're here to help. Funny, Shaw. That's it. Okay. One down. There we go. So Ben is saying he'll go again if we get back inside the opening range. He'll look for that long. You know, we do have a release in just a few minutes here. Long 13. See if we can squeeze in with you, Ben. Chad barcoding, pointing down. EMA is not good. Okay, we're in. Fred calling for a test of the spike. The excess here. Or this spike. Yeah, we could be kind of falling into a bit of repair here, right, Fred? But I like this trade. I like the outside the overnight failure and pull back into range. JT's saying he's looking to buy it at 40.08 quarter, just a little bit lower here. Naz doing diddly. We got 5 minutes to the PMI numbers. 6 minutes, 5 minutes. We are still looking pretty liquid here. I don't think we're going to see an illiquid market, or at least not too illiquid. Let's see here. Go back to the 30. Here we've got VWAP up at 22. I think we just got ticked out. No, we're in. No, we're in so far. Little choppy here, huh? Little bit choppy. We're still looking pretty liquid here. Vince looking for a short around value high for the session today, around 40.17. Fred's been fascinated with crude oil lately. He's looking to see what the test of those weak highs are going to bring. We'll take a look at that here in a second here, Fred. looking for news here. Okay, we almost got hit on our stop. We missed by 1 tick. Let's see what happens now. It's getting a little thin. Getting a little thin. Bless you.
Thank you, sir.
That was a sneeze?
No, that was just a cough.
Oh, I was kidding.
Yeah,
But
just watching price here. I mean, again, right now I just see lower lows on a small time frame. If we get above that 21, we're getting close above 21s. I look to buy a pullback.
close on the 5-minute.
I'm using a range chart. I'm
Okay.
using a 10 tick range chart. So lately, that's been helping me see the moves in the S&P.
Awesome.
Plus, it takes time out of the equation, so that overnight drift, when you have like a 1 minute or a 5-minute chart, and you're looking from, 5 p.m. till 6 a.m. There's nothing you can do with it.
Right.
For the way I use charts, I have to have some kind of tick chart, range chart, or volume chart, so it time drift.
And you're just checking out, looking at overnight information. I mean, it's kind of hollow, isn't it? It's just shorter time frame, weaker hands traders. The big players aren't there.
Right. I mean, the whales, aren't here until they open, unless there's a 7:30 number that's significant. You'll see some whale action, but otherwise.
Ooh, it's getting thin. Look at this. Holy cow. It's getting thin. Yeah.
Plus, the Chinese New Year this week, they're basically closed all week.
Yeah.
Which is good and bad. I mean, I feel like it's good because, we run the table. It just makes the overnight even less.
Even thinner, right?
Yeah. I mean, so then, if I don't want to look at a range bar, I'm going to look at a 240-minute chart, something beefy. So it won't matter.
Okay, so whatever these numbers come out and whatever they mean, they're coming out here shortly.
Let's see what we here.
Look how thin. Look how thin. 46, higher on all of them. Services was at 45. They came out 46.6. Manufacturing, they were looking for 46, came out 46.8. The composite was 46.4, came out 46.6. So what does all that mean? That's what I'm wondering, Robert. What does it all mean?
The answer lies within price.
Right? I guess if it's viewed as positive, the price is going to let us know.
Yeah.
Oh, come on now. There we go. Give us that 21. Ben, did you stay in it? It was looking pretty thin there for a few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we poked above that, but then we closed. We didn't close above that 21.
Ben's looking for the overnight point of control.
Where's that?
Well, I've got it up at 30. Well, this is the MES. Hang on a second.
Here we go. We could be popping here.
25.
I got my close above 21, so now I'll try to buy a pullback if I want to play.
Okay, we've got VWAP now, 24. Ben, you're getting pretty close here. Nice job, Ben. Nice job. So what do we do here? Do we fish or cut bait? Here's the poll.
Where are you long from and what's your target?
We are long from 13 quarter.
And what are you looking for?
I'm waiting to find out.
Oh.
If we have a good target, I know Ben's out. He took that 25 and ran with it. Nice job, Ben. I've got the poll up now. You can vote. Is it showing on your platform, Matt?
Let me see. Hold on. I'm looking at my charts right now. I mean, now I'm trying to buy a pullback, so I feel like it's going higher, so I would stay in. The vote came up. I might have actually. Oh, here it is. I'll fish. Go fish.
No, it didn't run, I guess. Sorry about that. So we've got lots of fishers here, lots of fishermen. Lots of suggestions here for moving the stop up. I'm going to move it up to 20, the other side here, 21, Matt.
Okay. And then I don't know. My first target area would be like 32.5. I don't know if you're safe at 20 on the stop, but that's okay. You're still making money.
Yeah, I mean we're
You can get back in.
we're in good shape. Because the volume point of control is here. The TPO point of control is up at 34. And the pole share, so we're fishing here at 74%. Here's the results. Wally, we're out. No, we're not. We're in. Maybe out soon.
Where you at? 20 on the stop?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna try to buy 15.75. We get down there.
Off your short time frame chart.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a 5 minute, but maybe close to it.
Let's see what it looks like on the 5 minute. Oh, it looks totally different.
I'm sure.
It's like a different language, you know.
But I see your consolidation here could come back to looking as a demand zone.
Exactly. Plus, we kind of had that swing like on the open. Oh, was that the open? Well, here it says at 8:32. At 8:32, we had a little swing down from 20.75 down to the low, which was what, 9/4. So if I measure that, flip it up to the recent high, that puts me down to 14.75. I'm going to buy a point in front of that.
I'm going to put a wishing order in here up at 33.
Yeah.
Oops.
I think it's realistic to sell it there. I mean,
Well, that's the overnight TPO point of control is just above that. So, and the overnight point of control for the micros is up there as well. Whatever that means.
yeah.
A wishing order, Ben is asking what a wishing order is. And it was something my dad used to. He'd have a position in soybeans or something. And he would just say, what's my best case scenario for this? If price gets there, I definitely want to act here. So he would write up an order and hand it to a broker and just let it work. And if the market got there throughout the day, he knew he was going to participate at that level.
Nice.
And he would be, you'd be surprised how many times, hey, look at that. I got filled.
I mean, I feel like your target's very realistic. There's nothing crazy about it. I mean, think about the price, the market opened, we tried to go lower, we made a teeny bit of effort down there, and then that effort's been reversed, and now we're doing a better job going higher.
Yeah, it's that low of the overnight, break out below it, come back inside, and go the other direction. I see him. 30-minute highs in the overnight. Ben's looking at split right here. We're there, right? This is your firecracker setup? Yes. Next, we got to come up with a whippersnapper. You young whippersnappers. Should be some stops up here. First standard deviation is 30. There it is. Well, fish or cut bait. Move the stop up to 24. I want it to hold above this firecracker level here. A lot of fishermen here. Look at that. Still 68%. That's what it was last time, wasn't it, Matt?
Yeah, it was like 70.
Yeah, 68, 70% right there. Well, we did trim the risk on this. We got to stop at 24. I'd like to see it hold here. Not gonna though. Still a heck of a good trade.
Definitely.
And we're telling me we're not going to miss this stop by another tick. There it goes. All right. There it goes. All right. So we had a pretty decent upside move. Didn't quite get to my wishing order. I should have probably done the 10% rule, which, if you don't know my 10% rule, anytime it gets near a profit target, I usually say within 10% of it, you can take it and treat it as a full profit target hit. But still a good trade. Puts us up on the day here so far. So now we're coming up to 9 o'clock with the B session opening up. Let's see if we find any good information here in this next 5 minutes. A lot of times you can learn a lot about direction in the day time frame from the last 5 minutes and first 5 minutes of any bar. Anytime you're at the 30-minute or the hour, there's usually executions that occur. And we're starting to see this thing pull back pretty decent here, aren't we?
Yep.
Waleed, how many reasons do you look for before entering a trade? Well, I think it depends on the trade and the time frame of the trade, Waleed. If it's a trade I'm looking for an all-day sucker, I want to see many nuances in my direction. 3 is good. We didn't have any real good nuances in any direction here this morning, if you ask me. So we were reasonable with our profit target. I reached a little bit too high, but we still had a decent trade. New York Stock Exchange halted. Many New York Stock Exchange listed stocks halted for a technical issue. I was afraid I was going to have that here with them working on the transformer behind the house. I keep waiting to hear a boom and then everything go out. I would want to see that, but you never know. Was it Shaw that said that? They're from the government. They're here to help. I'm looking for it. I don't use tick charts, Shaw. Kind of looking through some of the chat here. Okay, we got the B to open up here. Wow. I mean, this is a pretty deep pullback. B is going to open really low in A.
Now, if we take out the opening range, what does that tell you? Does it give you any?
Well, our opening range is neither the high nor the low.
Yeah.
So it's more the low of the session here.
The low of the day, if it takes out the low,
right?
We'll keep going lower.
Right. Because I mean, if you look at this profile, B just opened down here. The probability of excess at the high is relatively strong.
And excess at the high, meaning more to sell up there?
Meaning the A tail up here is very long right now.
I see.
So this is right now presenting as price got too expensive and was rejected quickly.
Yeah.
And swiftly. You can see, this was the open yesterday, and this buying tail here showed that price was at this time viewed as way too cheap.
Okay.
So now we're kind of coming back into that as something changed. We haven't taken out our low of the session here yet. But in very early profile, the point of control was here at half back. Now it's here because B never got back to half back. So, and an early indication or nuance with point of control moving lower already, we were thinking maybe this thing is going to continue to the downside. I mean, it can change in a heartbeat. It's got a half an hour to bring point of control back there. Mm-hmm. All price has to do is go back there. So it's not really reliable to depend on the migration of the point of control here this early unless it stays here. But we're not really getting much of a bounce here.
Yeah, we're just kind of hanging out. I mean, nothing too crazy today. There's really no economic announcements tomorrow either that are significant. So it's kind of like a free ride for today and tomorrow.
Yeah, well, if I were to where things are right now, and this is regular trading hour session only profiles. So I'm going to smoosh them down so we've got a lot on here. So emotional upside day. Lots of toothiness, lots of visual targets for the price to come back and recheck. Another emotional day. P-shape indicates short covering, which takes buying power out of the market, but we also added open interest. So there was more than just short covering yesterday. We would have reduced open interest. So there was a presence yesterday that was very hard to detect, but I believe that there were longer time frame buyers here. The longer time frame buyers are hedging. They're not outright. They're not worried if price goes against them until they need to adjust that hedge again, and sometimes they do every day. So what I'm looking at here is if we were to combine those two profiles, if this were one day, we've opened between a point of control assumed for this area of distribution, and this area of distribution also has its own point of control. Opening or getting into the middle of them provides the opportunity for potential repair between the 2 points of control.
Interesting.
So right now, my thought is I'm not interested in longs anymore until something changes. So that puts on us where is a good spot to short. In the day time frame, that's going to bring us above value, and just to be able to reduce our risk by that much. That's also going to bring point of control higher, but we're not really getting much out of this B period here. It's just kind of hanging down here. What do we have as far as delta's concerned? Okay, delta's negative, about 2,000. I don't know if you guys can see this, but delta's negative about 2,000. So delta is likely more directional than divergence. We're at the low of the session. We got negative 2,100. Now, if we can't take out the low, which we just did. Okay, so that's moot. So I'm not looking for longs here. I'm not looking for longs. What I'm looking for is the market to repair all this. Let me smush this again. I'm looking for the market to repair all of this and trade to an assumed point of control of this distribution of time and volume.
What is that, 39.60 or something?
30, yeah, let's call it 39.50 just for shits and giggles, just for simplicity's sake.
Okay. I see, yeah. Oh, that was right when that interest rate news came out on Friday. We're like, oh, they might only cut a quarter point.
Right, boom.
Then we exploded from right there.
Right. And in the delta on Friday, which was negative, we saw longer time frame buyers. And when we see that, it doesn't necessarily give us opportunities with the buyer, although it does get our direct competitors, the other short time frame, weaker hands P shooters like us, it gets the whole community short. And that's when we see the big move to the upside at the end of the day. Because we know that the P shooters like us aren't going to be holding positions for several days. So, Not looking for longs at this point.
I mean, it could just be a day of rest. We've had 2 days of rock and rolling. So.
It's very well could be that. It could just be that hangover day. It could be. Rusty Golfer. If you're looking for recordings of the coaching sessions at 12:30, email me at jhoagland at topstep.com. JHOAGLAND at topstep.com, and I can send you recordings. I'll send you a couple of them, but if you want them day over day, just send me an email. It just makes it easier for me to return them to you. Where can I find the Zoom invite for Make HOAG Money? I didn't put it in there, did I? All this technology frightens and confuses me. I'm a bit of a caveman. So I just put the link in, Jimmy, for the invite to the Zoom part of the Zoom section, I guess, of Make HOAG Money. So, Ben, you still here? Yeah, Ben. How do we get into a short here? I see what you're saying there. I'm gonna bring this up just for a second. I'm interested in seeing what's going on here with crude. So, yeah, So the Treasury, the Energy Secretary says they're going to start buying at 80. There's not a chance in heck that price is going to go down to 80.
Right.
When I think Biden said they were going to start buying it at 70. Here's that day. Right there. We're going to start buying crude oil at 70. Mr. Valentine has set the price.
Seriously. I mean, there's a reason he said that, and I don't think it was because they really wanted to buy it at 70, because you would never tell the world where you're planning to do something for your whole country on a commodity like oil.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but we are talking about the U.S. government. It's got to be something in it for them.
There is. It's just different than what we think.
Okay, Ben.
I think they do a great job of appearing to be foolish so they can get away with a lot of stuff.
Dumb like a fox.
Right, exactly.
Dumb like a fox.
They kind of have to be.
Ben, did you want to talk? We're going to bring Ben in. We're trying to see what he thinks about trying to find a short in this. Now, all that changes if we take out the high of the initial balance. And there he is.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Ben. How are you?
Okay, so this is expires after the Make HOAG Money, because it is kind of iffy, which way we're gonna go, and I like what Matt was saying. It could be just a rest day, and we just trade.
That's good. That's good, Ben. Got to cover your ass.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, we're kind of approaching where I was thinking that a short might be, which would be half back of A at 20, or somewhere right in there, because we've got basically the overnight broke above there at like 23, and A went up and took out a lot of you gotta shake out people, right? If you're
Right.
Lower.
Right.
That could be what that looks like to me, but if you look at the volume shoulders in the overnight, and then you look at where we are with building volume today. Okay, we've got value and value lower today. Volume value lower.
Yes.
So here about 19, right at the top of this shoulder. You know, kind of approached there and didn't quite get there. So we may be in that short that I was looking at already.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't get to where I was thinking maybe to enter, but it's sort of the, you know, the abstract concept is in play so far. But we may get another little push higher yet, right up near half back at about 19 to 20-ish. And then you could test where there's that thin space in what I use the letters in the overnights. That would be my W period, about 8:30, 8:30 bar, where it broke down. Yeah, 8:30. Well, I'm sorry, your central time.
Right.
7:30 bar, right? So
Right.
7:30 bar. And just back inside that, which is also the volume value rated low for the overnight. So just right back in there. You could risk even higher if you want. I'm thinking maybe ES risk parameters, but yeah, if we could just get up a little higher near half back, maybe in there for a short, if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, so halfback is 18. And I like that. I like, you know, the volume shoulder here.
I guess you're right. That's half back maybe of the day, but I was looking at half back of A period. So yeah, maybe 18 would have been.
Oh, that's right. That's extended, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, somewhere in here at the open, between the open and between 18 and 20.
Yeah, so 20, I believe, is exactly half back from A period.
Yeah.
Right in this low volume node, right in this low volume node, right in this hole in the overnode. I like it.
Yeah. So that would be nice. The only thing I don't like is that we actually went down and took out the low of B period from yesterday by 1 tick. Before I shared my screen, I was crosshairing it to see if it was exactly on that low. Then I'd feel a lot better about a short. It kind of went down there.
Yeah, that's
that low, and you know that's not the best situation, but hey, you know it's worth a shot.
well, like you say, Ben. You know, sometimes the weak low or the weak high is just the fact that the market's exhausted in that direction.
Yeah.
But it's not strong.
Somebody said we're above the 4,000. I could see a check down there again that somebody was talking about. So we're getting this little move up here. Well, it's popping through. I'd say to enter it if it's no, yeah, it's over. So that would have stopped us out possibly. Or yeah, it's over.
Yeah, we would have been stopped out. I'm glad we were chatting and not doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so now things have changed.
Yeah, we still have a lot of potential to the upside here for the there's still some right at the A high in the overnight at the 4 a.m. bar. There's a high, and just below that at the 3:30 bar, there's a high, just a little bit above it. So we could still get a little action up there, and then if you look up higher back at I guess it'd be 2 a.m. From 1:30 a.m. to 2 a.m. there were like successively lower highs by 1 tick. So you got a little bit of a
little ledge
right
there. Right.
Yeah. So I mean I could see it moving on up again.
All right.
But I don't know if we got time for any of that for the session.
Well,
I just got short.
Nice.
I stopped higher high, stops 33 half. I got in at 28 quarter, so pretty cheap.
Nice. That's good, man. That's good.
Lower lows.
Lower
lows, lower highs.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
So my idea that I wasn't looking for longs, I was looking for shorts, but the trade location wasn't good down here. Matt just got good trade location in the daytime frame for shorts right up here. If it extends the range, he's wrong.
Yeah.
For me, like you said 28 quarter you got in at?
Yeah.
Now my style would be like, oh, this is a good trade, and if it struggles a little bit down here, I'll just get out because it popped up so hard. But are you looking to take out the lows? Like, are you looking for a long range lower trade?
I kind of am. A couple things could happen. If you want, I could show my screen real quick. Just to
Yeah, let's see.
My top
Got a few minutes here.
Let's see. Share screen. Should I share screen now?
Yep.
Ready for me? Okay, share screen. Let's go. Share. All right, you see me?
Yep.
Okay, so, oops. Can I move this thing out of the way? No, of course.
I like how those little measurements frame this up, and it makes it even look better.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. So you can see right here, and I use these little circles just to say the highest high, lowest low. Kind of keeps me on the swings, right? So they're all the same height. You see these little measurements. They're all basically the same height. So what I do is, then I can grab a pitchfork and say, okay, let's go. Here, make it a little thicker so you guys can see it better. You know, I get it's the problem have a price. I get it got broken. So and here we go. This top line has 1, 2, the 3 touches. The bottom line has kind of a sloppy touch back behind it over here. This touch here, this touch here. So here's the deal. I'm looking for price to go for sure to 40.03. Now, if price breaks 40.03, I'm looking for it to double the range because this pitchfork here is a range. Let me try to make this easier for you guys to see.
You know who else has a pitchfork?
Satan.
Oh, Poseidon too. Yeah.
So if we double the range, there, that would be double the range. We're going to go down to this red line. A lot of times when you break out of a range, price doubles the range. So that's a common target for me. So I have my target there. Now, what I really want to see is, this just makes my life easier. If price would go down in a cascading fashion, take out the low, pull back, impulse weight bigger, take out the low. That way I can hide my stop above these highs once it takes out the prior low here.
Or would
So
you
price
even
is
add
down.
to the position at those levels?
Usually I don't. Usually, like, I'm in for a certain amount and I let it go unless something looks really, really good. I'd add to it, but not there. It would be like, because the rules of the pitchfork are price has an 80% chance of hitting the nearest line that it's heading towards, right? If it zooms through this line, there's a high probability it's going to retest and then keep on going. So if price, as long as price doesn't start taking off these prior highs right here, we're going down. And if that keeps happening and it breaks out of this bottom one, here's what I see happening. Like if I'm really getting lucky, it breaks out of the bottom, pulls back to retest, maybe I'll sell it there again to add to it for a trip down to here or just trip down to here. It kind of depends what kind of structure forms along the way. Like if I've got something to hide behind, I'll do it. But if there's like if I was here and put my stop all the way here, that's too far. You know, that's a more risk than I want versus this. You know, from here, price made a lower low. Price took out this low. Boom. That tells me lower prices are in store. So if we come up here close enough, I've got everyone who wants to sell is right here. So I'm using them as my protection to hide my stop. Everyone here and their mother wants to sell now because we made a lower low. So when price comes back, they're going to take a shot. And guess what? I'll take a shot a little ahead of them, and I'm using their sell orders as my stop, like protection.
It's a great trade.
Yeah, it's a great tool too. Do you account for, like, let's say a larger channel there and the perceived support and resistance of the channels? Do you like at this point being short, would you draw one of those in from that big high to sort of like where the high is shorted? Yeah, and then like from that low swing, the first low swing, and make like parallel lines there.
Right. I mean, sometimes I do that, like here, because that's what I had on to start for this, because this is the change in behavior. Once we crack this line here, that's the change in behavior. Because this low, this was a higher low, higher high, boom, lower low. That's the change in behavior. I look for the first pullback, measured off of this. Lo and behold, a lot of times we come right to that. I didn't like selling it here because there's nothing to hide behind in the area, so I'd wait for it to break this and sell it, and then just stop above here. So I had that pitchfork drawn. Where was it? Here, here, here. Let's make it yellow so you can see the difference. And yes, price hits the center line, which is the median line 80% of the time. That happens. It comes back, you know, this is where maybe it should run out of energy, is the upper parallel. It gets through the upper parallel, then it kind of just gets sloppy and loses the frequency, so to speak. If you change it to a normal pitchfork, it doesn't really do anything.
What's the time frame of your chart there?
This is a 10-tick range chart.
Okay.
So it's pretty fast. I mean, it's probably equivalent to like a 3-minute, but without any drift from the overnight session. So
Do you overlay, like, do you use market profile the way John does, and like, do you overlay the two, or is this pretty much your thing?
this is pretty much my jam. I look at I look at HOAG's pre-market for like the points of control and things like that, just to make a mental note to myself, because sometimes it's real interesting that, hey, a point of control is here and like a swing is here, and when I measure a swing, it lines up perfectly with that point of control. So when we get there, I'm even more interested, because there's another thing there that people look at, like the point of control volume or whatever. Sometimes I use fib levels also. Like a lot of times I measure a fib, like here, I'll do it from here. I measure it the opposite way, because I want to see where price is going to fail, because price failures are the most powerful thing. So typically when we have an upswing and we crack the low, price will fail down to the 1618. It's a common target for me because it's easy money a lot of times, surprisingly.
So what do you mean by, could you explain a little bit like what you mean by price failures, or like preeminently powerful?
Sure.
And what do you mean by?
Sure. Okay, so here, you see how price, I'm gonna get my little graffiti pen out here. So price swings down here, and price swings up and makes a new high. Now, when price swings down, it's supposed to hold and not break below that prior low. When price breaks here, that's a failure, okay? So now price swings up, so this becomes the reaction leg, and the impulse leg will be the bigger move to the downside. So when price starts going down, this price swing's job in life is to take out that prior low. If that doesn't happen, that's a failure and a sign of strength, right? So lo and behold, it does happen. So now we go up again. I'm expecting, I do my little measured move, and I try to pay more attention when price gets up here. It does. Price then turns where I'm expecting it to turn, comes down, makes a lower low, not by a huge amount, but enough to keep me interested. Plus it closed below the prior low. It didn't just poke through it and then pop back up. It closed below it on this frame. So now when price gets back up here, I'm licking my chops because it's so close to the prior high. It's like, that's where I can put on some positions and be like, look, the risk is small, the reward is large. Even if I just take to the median line, it's pretty sexy. I mean, but if I take to the lower parallel, I'm talking, I get my go no go on here. Let me see my risk reward tool here. So if I take to the middle, I'm 2.59 to 1. My minimum is 3 to 1 on a trade. So if I want to stick to just the minimum to get in and get out, you know, slice the sausage, so to speak, my bread and butter, boom, let me just take 3 to 1 and be done with it instead of playing the lines. A lot of times I'll just play the risk reward and not care how far it may or may not go. But if I take it to this lower, I'm going to be 4.73 to 1. That's real nice. Now, since prices moved down, I'm going to take my stop order, compress it down to 40, 30. How about that? Just because it's like a point above that high. So now my risk gets compressed to 150. You know, maybe I just moved the break even. So now I got a free ride. The whole thing is, you know, when my greed gets to me, I start discounting things. And so top of mind lately has been lock in the money, or compress the risk right away. You can always get back in, and that's just how it goes. After a few juicy trades, you feel invincible, and you're like, I don't need to lock in the money. And then the beginning of the end, pigs get slaughtered because
the God complex.
On so many levels, in my mind, pigs get slaughtered because you get so greedy that you fail to lock in your risk and compress it to zero, or just put a couple bucks on the table and lock in some money, and then you waited all this time for your trade setup, which was awesome, but then you managed it poorly. Now I'm pissed because I got stopped out. Then I start revenge trading. Then it's bad. So if I just stay with my plan, stay happy, you know, the worst thing that can happen to me is I lose an opportunity on this one since I'm at break even. Not a big deal. It's better than losing money.
Are you using Epic Pen for your drawing tool? Is that what that is?
this is just trading view. Oh, that pen thing, I don't know what it's called. It was called a highlighter. Then you can make it like super fat or skinny when you go
Yeah.
to here, or when you just click on it. What do I do? Click on this, and then what is it? I don't know. There's a way to make it skinny and fat.
So one thing great about the pitchfork thing that you use, and you know it really well, is that it's discretionary, but it also keeps you. It's sort of really clear. Like, I don't know how to say this, but like it's not like rules based, but it's got very defined
Expectations.
points of interest. Yeah, points of interest. You know, where you might choose to do something or not. You know.
Right. I mean, all you need to do is pick 3 extremes. Boom, boom, boom. Draw the pitchfork. You can draw a standard pitchfork or a modified shift. The difference is a modified shift connects A point to C point and makes it parallel, and everything else is parallel to that. And just see how it lines up. I mean, this one seems to be calling the tune, looking like it stopped at the median line where it should run out of energy. It's starting to take out some highs. Now it has an 80% chance of coming up to this line. I'm hoping that it turns around before that and goes lower, of course. You know, there's little innuendos on it, but I like it because there's a mathematical probability built into it. The studies have been done, and the fact is 80% chance of reaching the middle line. Well, geez, that seems like it should be easy to win all the time, which, of course, it isn't. But, you know, this is, and you know, now my debate is, and why I'm studying a market profile is to try to get a feel for, you know, if I could figure out what kind of day it's going to be, you know, based on the prior moves. That's one of the innuendos of the market profile. Right now, it seems like kind of a hangover day. You know, for me to look for 40.30 down to 39.78, I don't know if that's happening today. So maybe it's smarter to just, you know, take my profit up to here, 4,001. You know, if I get another swing down, maybe I move my stop down to here, because if this, let's move this out of the way. If this low gets taken out from here, that makes this the swing high. That makes me, I can hide behind here, because now everybody wants to sell here. So all the sell orders here are going to protect my stop, which would be right here. And if I get stopped out, so be it. Just part of the game.
Awesome.
So
I do have to get moving. I apologize, guys, but if you're looking for more information about the Andrews pitchfork, we're going to have a whole session with my good floor trader friend Matt Hoyt on next Tuesday. So make sure you're here.
HOAG Money, or is that going to be its own session?
It's going to be on HOAG Money, but I'm just going to have Matt talk about the pitchforks, and we can still look for opportunities, but I think a lot of folks are really interested in this, as I see you are, Ben. So we're going to have him present the major part of HOAG Money next Tuesday. Okay? Does that sound good?
Sounds
Sounds
awesome.
awesome.
All right.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, John.
Thanks for letting me talk, guys. Thanks for, you know, having me be part of the community. It's a lot of
Hey,
fun.
awesome. We're glad you're here, and we are looking. I know I'm looking forward to next Tuesday. All I can say is, you know, it better be good.
I hope it is. A lot of times Tuesdays really rock. Sometimes Tuesday's the slow day of the week. You just don't know.
Well, and that's okay. You know, we can't judge that, but you know, just looking to hear all your knowledge about the pitchfork. And you know, Matt is somebody that has been around the block a few times. Matt is a good trader. Matt is somebody I've known for years, and he is somebody I trust to be able to give us some really good and you know, important information. You don't have to use anything like Matt is saying. He's working on learning about the profile because it's an unrelated study that can give him more confidence in the study that he's using now. So, you know, learning something about this, I think, is going to be important and useful for everybody. So, again, thank you, Matthew. Ben, thank you for joining us today. Thanks for your input on everything and your great questions with Matt. So maybe we'll do it like this again. You know, we have somebody else in here asking questions of Matt next Tuesday. Ben, you're probably in for that.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Trade well, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for the money today.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
See you later.